Okay, so welcome to our third PASSPORTal Global Connections session. This time we have a special guest star, which is Miss Zoe from Egypt, and she's going to talk to us about the pyramids, the Egypt, probably the River Nile. I'm not sure. So the floor is yours, Zohir. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And with no further ado, please share your
Okay.
screen, whatever you need.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to your class, and I'm really missed these sessions as a Skype master teacher, and I'll begin my presentation by sharing few slides about Egypt at the first. Let's start our slideshow. I'll show you some photos from Egypt about the location and the main places. Then we will go to describe the theory of building the pyramids. So this is the map, the world map. Egypt is in the northeastern of Africa. We have two seas, the Mediterranean Sea at the north and the Red Sea at the east, Sudan from the south and Libya from the west. This is our location in the world map. This is our flag. It consists of three colors, the red, the white, and the black. The red one for our sacrifice against occupation, and the white for peace, the black for our kind fertile land, and the eagle in the center of the white part to represent the great army of Egypt. Our population is about 100 millions. Maybe it reaches now to about 6 millions more, maybe less. So it's about 100 million in Egypt. A lot of people here. This is the photo of Cairo. Cairo is our capital. It's an amazing city with the Nile River passes in the middle of the city. Have very beautiful and great scenes, especially at night. You can see the whole Cairo from the Cairo Tower. It's a high tower in the middle of Cairo, and it's wonderful to visit it. If you visit Egypt, maybe you go to the Cairo Tower, and especially at night, to see the whole city from its top. Let's see the most famous places. Here is the pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid, the biggest one is called Khufu Pyramid, and it's the only one to remain from the old seven wonders of the world. And I will share with you another presentation, especially for the pyramids and how they were built after a few minutes. Sphinx, it's carved from a single rock in the Giza Plateau with a height of 22 meters and a length of 73 meters. This one of the famous mosque here in in Egypt. It's also in Cairo, in Old Cairo. It's the largest to be built in the first half of the 19th century. It's Muhammad Ali Mosque in Salah al-Din Citadel. And this is St. Mark Cathedral. It's one of the biggest cathedral, not only in Egypt, but in Middle East. And this photo for our Pope during the Easter celebration. Abu Simbel is one of the famous and giant temples here in Egypt. Includes the four giant statues of Ramses II. This is Horus Temple in Luxor. It's famous by its twin towers that are almost mirror image with a height of 36 meters. It's amazing from outside and from inside. And it's a spiritual place. You will feel very emotional when you enter from its giant gate to the middle of the temple. This is one of the ancient Egyptian tombs. You can see how is the colorful paint still exists on the walls. And this is the Luxor temple, located in the middle of Luxor city. Actually, Luxor in the Upper Egypt is one of the cities that may be considered as an open museum. So you can see the temples everywhere and the museums, and every part of the city is a part of ancient Egypt. This is Hatshepsut temple, also in Luxor, in the west bank of the Nile, and the whole temple was carved in the mountain. And this is the Nile River, the longest river in the world, extends for 4,400 miles from middle of Africa to the Mediterranean Sea. And this is a photo from Alexandria. Alexandria is my city at the north of Egypt on the Mediterranean. It's a lovely and beloved city. I love my life here. And it's the main harbor of Egypt. Most of our trades pass through its marine. This is also one of the famous places here in Alexandria. It's yes?
Yes. I was going to ask you about this library because it's worldwide famous.
Yes.
And yes, you are showing us, and thank you very much for this photo.
Thank you. I have a whole Skype lesson about the library and how we built it once again to revive the old Bibliotheca Alexandrina that was destroyed in ancient history. This library opened in 2001. And contains one of the largest open reading area in the world, consists of 7 connected floors. It contains many museums and planetarium and a lot of activities provided for our students and our youth here in Alexandria. So maybe you want a Skype session separated on the Bibliotheca Alexandrina. I can arrange this in another time. This is some of our famous Egyptian queens and kings. This is Nefertiti, the most famous Egyptian queen in ancient Egypt, and the wife of Akhenaten. She was very pretty and represented by her past now in Berlin's museum. This is the King Tut, the most famous one in ancient Egypt because of its discovery with all the constituents of its tomb. Its mysterious death may be one of the reasons of that is why he's a famous king. And excerpts of artifacts from his tomb have toured the world. Here are some of our customs. This is the ancient one for women. And this is the custom of men in Upper Egypt till now. And this is the custom of Upper Egypt women. And this one from countryside. And this is from Nuba. They like to wear colorful clothes and colorful houses as well. And this is our customs in cities, in schools, in universities, the modern customs. Also, some of our famous food. This is falafel. I know that many of people around the world like to eat it. This is called fatir. It's like the pizza, but with the stuff inside it, not on the topic. And this is called koshari. It's totally vegetarian, and it's very delicious and hot. And this is called mulukhia. It's a traditional green soup. This is our national bird, the eagle, represent the army of Egypt. And the national flower, the white lotus. And you can see this symbol in many of our temples. Egypt was the first country who identified the national plants and flowers, and a lotus is commonly known as the water lily. And this is the palm tree, our national tree. This is the currency, the Egyptian pound, 100 pound and 200 pound. This is my first presentation. Let's move to the second one to talk about the pyramids. Okay. The Great Pyramids of Giza are the most magnificent man-made structures in history. Their massive scale reflects the unique role that the king played in an ancient Egypt.
So we are not seeing the new presentation yet.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So the Great Pyramids of Giza are one of the most magnificent man-made structures in history. Their massive scale reflects the unique role that the king played in ancient Egyptian society. Those pyramids were built during the era of Old Kingdom. The Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu. is the oldest and largest of three pyramids in the Giza complex. Giza complex consists of three parts: the three pyramids, Sphinx, and the solar ship. The Great Pyramid also one of the seven wonders, as I mentioned in the previous presentation, and the only one to remain from the ancient world. Its height reaches to 146 meters, and it took about 20 years and 100,000 men to construct. To construct a pyramid, it's necessary first to choose a suitable location and establish an infrastructure. On the Giza Plateau, overlooking the Nile Valley, Egyptians found an ideal location and started to establish lines of communication and dig transportation canals to transport the stones. The worker towns at the right photo, at the right side, we can see the worker towns that have been discovered since the last few years. It was a great evidence that Egyptians are the ones who built the pyramids, and there was no slaves during this process. They found in the town homes for builders, stores for food, centers to treat the injured workers. Actually, scientists found 600 skeletons, and they proved that those people, number one, they were Egyptians, the same as you see in every cemetery in Egypt. Number two, they found evidence that the workers had emergency treatment. They had accidents while building the pyramids, of course. They found 12 skeletons who had accidents with their hands, and they supported the two sides of the hand with wood. And another one, a stone fell on his leg, and they did a kind of operation. They cut his leg, and he lived 14 years after that. The materials used to build the Great Pyramids consist of estimated 2.3 million blocks. It's estimated that 5.5 million tons of limestones, 8,000 tons of granite, and 500,000 tons of mortar were used in the construction of the Great Pyramid. As the wheel were not yet exist, the stones were transported on wooden sleds. And the research said in the presence of the correct quantity of water, wet desert sand is about twice as stiff as dry sand. In this photo, you can see this very heavy statue of the king, this one, a very heavy statues. And you can see how the soldiers or the workers pull the statues on the sled, and these workers pour the water in front of the sleds on the sand to make it dry, so it's easy to pull the statue to its place. So there was no wheel at this part of the time, so they use sledge instead of wheels. The blocks of limestones would then be pulled on an external ramp, which we will call it the pyramid ramp. about a 325-meter long slope of 8%. It was built with the same limestone taken from the local quarries. This ramp had 2 lanes, one to allow the stones to be transported and the other in the process of being raised in height. The pyramid was constructed in successive layers called courses. During the construction of one course, the ramp was elevated to prepare the construction of the second course. In this manner, the construction never stopped. And as the limestone were being cut side by side at the quarry and numbered, so they only had to be laid according to their numbers, rather like the pieces of a model to construct the perfect casing, as you can see in the photo at the left. The largest granite stones in the pyramid was found in the King's Chamber, weight from 25 to 80 tons, and were transported from Aswan more than 500 miles away. They were carried by the boat up the Nile River to the pyramid. Similar to the elevator, there was a counterweight. At the end of the boat ramp, they dug a trench into which a counterweight descended, linked by lengths of rope to a sled, as in the photo, on which the beam was loaded, ready for transport by rolling on logs to limit the friction. The center of the pyramid was filled with very roughly stones blocked with curry rubble and often a little mortar, except a part in the middle to build the grand gallery and the King's Chamber that begins from level 43 to level 64. This is the entrance of the pyramid. On entering from this gate, the passage slopes down steeply, and as shown on the plan, would lead to the subterranean chamber in the rock, which was apparently intended to be the burial chamber. Above this, we clamber up a passage, slippery but narrow enough for us to hold on the sides, till we come to the extension of the corridor known as Great Hall. Continuing the ascent, we reach a short passage. From this, we enter the King's Chamber. The walls and the roof are of massive blocks of granite. Ancient Egyptians believed that when the king died, part of his spirit, known as Ka, remained with his body. To probably care for his spirit, the corpse was mummified, and everything the king would need in the afterlife was buried with him, including gold vessels, food, furniture, and other offering, as we discovered in the King Tut tomb. In mummification, brain and the contents of abdomen were removed. Cavity is cleaned and filled with spices and aromatic substances. Body then placed in natron, and natron is a sodium salt. It's actually the table salt for 70 days to absorb any humidity. Then the body wrapped with linen strips in 7 layers and perfumed to be ready to deliver to the town. The second part in the Giza Plateau is the solar ship. And actually, solar ship is one of the oldest and largest and best preserved vessels from antiquity. I don't know if I have time to describe the solar ship or not.
We only have 5 minutes more.
Okay, you want me to continue, or maybe you want to talk to my daughter if the students want to ask her anything?
It's
Maybe
up to you.
like to chat?
Maybe, is it too long until the end? Do you want to show something? Maybe you can go faster with
Okay, okay, I'll go fast. We go to the discovery. The Khufu ship has been on display to the public in a specially built museum at Giza Pyramid Complex since 1982. Its discovery was described as one of the greatest ancient Egyptian discoveries. And the amazing thing about this port, that if you put this port in water, it still can float in the water. This is the solar ship in its museum beside the pyramids in the same plateau of Giza. And of course, Sphinx. Sphinx is the one of the greatest temples here in Egypt. It's a mystery. Many of scientists and adventurers tried to investigate the Sphinx and maybe discuss it in their conferences, but they cannot answer who built it, when, and why. Here are some photos for sunset at the pyramids, and maybe this is the light and sound show at the pyramid. It's amazing nightly sound and light show at the Pyramid of Giza. You can hear and see story of Egypt unfold under the shadow of Great Sphinx and ancient pyramids as well. Okay, this is the end of the presentation. And maybe if you wanted to.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lovely, lovely presentation with the great facts we didn't know. So I'm sure students will learn a lot from this. So, do you have any questions? Perguntas agora. Podem perguntar coisas gerais, genéricas, podem perguntar sobre a apresentação ou podem falar com a filha da professora que está lá ao lado.
Posso perguntar aqui?
Podes, não, tens que vir aqui senão ninguém ouve. Anda cá, anda. É assim, as mulheres corajosas é assim. Olha, vamos lá. Ok. It's the first time. Anda cá, tem cá. Diz o teu nome. I'm não sei quantos, tenho não sei quantos anos, está bem? E depois fazes a pergunta.
Hello, my name is Mara.
Mara. Ok. How old are you, Mara?
I'm 14 years old.
Maybe, sorry, just a moment. Maybe if you unshare your screen, we can see each other better.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, stop share.
Silêncio para tu falares alto e bom som como se estivesse a falar lá para a China, está bem?
Okay.
What time is it?
What time is it now in Egypt?
It is 5 p.m.
5 p.m. What time is it here? 3 p.m.
So it's 2 hours.
Yeah, not
Hours
that,
difference.
not that
Okay.
big of a deal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next question. Come on. It's the first time they have an international connection, you know, so they are a bit shy. Let me ask my students at home, Ana Luísa ou Leonor, do you have any... Tem alguma pergunta para a professora? Não? Leonor.
Não querem saber mais sobre a biblioteca? Não querem perguntar à professora e à filha?
Ok, vá lá. Quem mais quer fazer alguma pergunta? Dirige, anda cá, Pedro. Come on. Anda lá, rápido, senão estamos a perder tempo. Fala, apresenta-te, diz o teu nome, I'm Pedro, tenho tantos anos.
My name is Pedro.
Ninguém ouve. Fala em alto e bom som e devagar.
My name is Pedro. I'm 14 years old, and I would like to know why they built the pyramids in the first place.
Why they build the pyramids in
Why they build the pyramids?
Yeah. They built it because the first pyramid that was built was actually the biggest one. He wanted, like the king wanted to build him a really glorified, big, amazing tomb because he's the king, and he wanted it because, like, in the afterlife he wanted to have a good building for himself. And the other pyramids the middle one was built after that because it was his son. He didn't want to be bigger than his father. And the third was the same thing. It was his grandson. He didn't want to be bigger than his grandfather or father.
Portanto, basicamente eram túmulos para eles próprios, para se eternizarem lá na sociedade, não é? No país. Thank you.
May I ask something, Miss, to help our students? Well, can you explain what was the the kings of that time of the Egypt civilization about what was life after death? Because our students don't know that, and I think it's important for them to understand that fact, why the pyramids was so important for the kings. I think, do you understand what I spoke?
Your voice was not stable, so many of the question just lost.
Well, I'll repeat. I think it's a cultural contrast. Well, I think it would be important for the students to understand what it meant in that civilization for them. A pyramid and related with the life after, what was one of the things that they believed on.
Como é que se diz, Tor?
I'm not sure
Do you learn English? Or do you speak?
about your question.
If you mean,
You learn? Queres perguntar se eles aprendem
Não, se
inglês?
eles falam inglês, porque
Eles
ela fala
falam
muito bem inglês.
Fala. Aprendeu bem.
Mas fala assim.
Podes dizer assim, is English an official language of Egypt?
or of spiritual,
Mas ela fala.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm not sure about the meaning of your question. And you know, the theory that the pyramid was built as a tomb is one of the theories, is one of the most famous theories about building the pyramids. But there are many theories about why we built the pyramids rather than being a tomb for the king, because they found many other facts about the pyramids that related to its building, related to the temperature inside the pyramid, related to how it's protected from the cosmic rays, and many other facts. Maybe I'll share with you a file about these facts after the session. Okay.
Okay. So, Sofia, diz lá. Hello, I'm Sofia.
Hello, my name is Sofia.
Sofia, mostra a carinha. Ali.
Hello, Sophia.
Sofia, yeah.
Sim, como é que se pergunta?
What's the official language?
What's the official language?
Language in Egypt. What's the official language?
The official language is Arabic,
Arabic.
but the
Okay.
dialect is Egyptian.
But
The dialect. There are many dialects of Arabic, so ours is Egyptian.
okay. What about English? Sophia. Sarah. Como é que tá o nome? Sophia. Sophia is intrigued because you speak very well English,
Thank you.
young lady. So she is intrigued. Do you learn at school, or is it a language that you use on daily basis in Egypt as well?
There are many different schools, so it depends. For me, there's a national school, there's a IGCSE school, and there's an American school. I've been in IGCSE and American, so that's why my English accent is good and I can speak it. And I personally do speak it on a daily basis. It just comes out sometimes.
Ela fala, eles têm lá umas escolas também que ensinam inglês, escola americana, escola inglesa e tal. Pronto, por isso é que ela fala. Ok, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So, students need to go to another class, but I would like to take a picture with you. And the people that can stay a little longer, if you are willing to continue talking, we can stay a little bit longer. I can stay a few more minutes, but the kids need to go to another class. So let's take a picture. Let's take a picture together, okay? So pose. Vamos tirar uma foto. Quem quiser aparecer, não aparece. Vamos. Rápido. Vamos. Quickly. Lá em cima do palco. Hey. Vamos. Bye-bye, thank you very much. So, Salome needs to go.
I need to go to another class.
But
so.
I can stay and
Bye-bye.
I can stay too.
Tchau. Obrigada. So, alunos, let me talk in Portuguese for them. Pequenitas, vocês querem ficar mais um bocadinho? Nós vamos conversar mais um bocadinho, uns minutinhos. Se quiserem ir embora, podem sair. Está bem? Como é? Querem ficar aqui mais um bocadinho? Têm perguntas? Se é para conversar, vocês têm que falar, ok? Então, vá lá. So, go ahead. Ask a question. To the teacher or to the daughter? Emma. Emma.
Professora, eu não tenho nenhuma pergunta agora, mas eu vou tentar.
Pergunta a temperatura. Olha, Baco. Temperatura. Vamos lá, perguntar. Quantos graus é que lá estão? A temperatura. Come on. The temperature. És tu, Ana Luísa, que vais dizer? Não? What's the temperature in Egypt right now?
Right now it's
1 second.
17 degrees Celsius.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty much the same. It's 16.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
What about at night?
What about what?
At night.
At night. These days, usually it goes down to 8, 7.
Yes.
Same here.
Same here.
Same. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I didn't know that. So, how old are you? What's the name of your daughter? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
My
Nada?
name is Nada. I am 16 years old.
Oh, 16, so you're older. These little girls, they are 11. They are 11. And we are working on a project called PASSPORTal. And we are studying the landmarks, the world landmarks. And one of the landmarks of our project is the pyramids. So that's why I invited Zoir to talk to us about the pyramids. So it's really fascinating. And what did we do, young ladies, the other day? We danced in this very same room, special dances, and then you were finding the countries. What were you writing with? Vocês estavam a escrever o quê? Lembram-se naquela aula de Ano Novo? O que é que vocês escreveram? Que eram os hieroglifos, não foi? They are shy. So they were writing with Egyptian hieroglyphs. I'm not sure how to pronounce the word. You know, so they were finding which country is the next dance from, and they were trying to connect the hieroglyphs with the letter. So it was interesting. Okay, so I will let you go because I know it's late.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Cristina, queres perguntar mais alguma coisa?
Não, não.
Não?
Não, para já não. Só queria agradecer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope I was not socially, how do you say it? Well, bad. Why I asked what was the beliefs from the kings about the pyramids and the myth around the pyramids. So I'm so sorry for asking you for that.
We
It's
enjoy
okay.
being asked about our history. It's something that makes us happy. You don't need to be sorry.
Yes. Your culture and your history is so interesting worldwide.
Yeah.
And that was why I asked, because I think it's important for our students to understand more about your culture.
Exactly. And they learn it at school, you know, at 7th grade. They learn the ancient history,
Yes.
world history, like the Greek civilization, the Egyptian civilization, etc.
The
So,
Rome's.
yeah, it's important for them. Once again, thank you so much. I will share the photos I took. I will share a certificate I created for you. And, well, I can't thank you enough. Thank you
Thank
for
you
doing
for
this.
inviting me. It's my pleasure to join you and your class, you amazing students. And I'm looking forward to collaborate with you at any level. It's amazing to, make this program live again, even by ourselves. Skyping classroom, it's
I miss Skype in the class.
yes. If I know that you will wear this t-shirt, I could wear mine.
Yeah, you have one too, I know. So it's really interesting to connect with real people from the places where we're talking about. I think this is more important than books. You know,
Yes.
books are important. We can learn from books, sure, but talking, seeing, asking real people about the places or whatever, it's always better, in my opinion.
I agree.
I agree as well. I find it fascinating how when we're not talking with each other, we find or we think that we're so different, but in reality, we're very
We're not.
alike.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally agree. Totally agree.
Yes.
Me too.
And these connections I'm doing now, it's people that I met because of Microsoft and Skype in the classroom, and we kept this friendship, you know, along the years, and it tells you something, doesn't it? Why do you remain friends with that person that you never met for real, but somehow we had this connection and we stay friends? So I love
Feel
it.
We feel it deep inside. Yes.
So when we need each other, we go, oh, who do I know from Egypt? Zoe, okay. So I'm hiring Zoe for this task. So amazing. Thank you again. I will let you go. Obrigada às meninas por estarem aqui conosco. Gostei muito de vos ver cá. E já sabem, querendo, podem adicionar algumas coisas que tenham retirado daqui aos wakelets agora das pirâmides. Está bem? Pronto. Beijinhos e boa tarde, bonecas. Está bem?
Say it in Arabic.
I was saying bye to my students.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Zoe, again.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Stay safe.
Yeah.
You too.
Stay safe, you too.
Bye-bye. Stop recording. I need to stop the recording. I forgot.